welcome everybody to 1 hour of miniature goodness. Oh, thank you for... Is that my dad? Yes, thank you for subscribing, Dad. Dad. Today we are doing Magic the Gathering. I don't know how many of you, of my goblins, are going to be interested in today's stream, as it is a little bit different from Dungeons and Dragons. But this is the dragon. It's absolutely huge, and I'm going to try and paint as much of this as possible today on the show. First of all, hello. First of all, I'm going to say a huge shout out to all my goblins for supporting me for another month on Patreon. You really don't know how much it means to me, because it is my business, and it's doing fantastic because of every single one of you guys. So, okay, let me give you a little 360. Did Tal just say hey lovely to me then? Tal, I didn't know you cared. You wish. So this is Magic the Gathering, and today we're painting this beautiful beastie. Now I've already taken him out of the packaging, so we can just get straight into the painting, but I just needed to show you the box for retail reasons. And of course you can go on to wizkids.com unpainted, and you can find their complete range of unpainted miniatures, which are fantastic. Okay, let me get this box out the way. And today is quite a simple paint. I'm using my MSP paints again. We're going for Fresh Blood, Twilight Purple. We have some Witchcraft Purple. We've got some Dragon Black and some Dragon White. So these are our main colours today. It's a very simple paint because the wings are red, the body is a little bit red here, and we've got some nice purples going around. So we're going to be using the big bad boy brushes today, and we'll get some paint on here. So let me just my little... Thank you for subscribing, BullGM. I'll get some paint on the palette. Now I have forgotten to plug in my warthog today. I had to take out the old plug to plug in something else, and I've forgotten to put it back in. So luckily all my paints are nicely shaken anyway. A little bit more red there. So all I'm using to begin with is some red, and we're going for some white. And we'll get all these added on first, because it's the lighter colour. We can then go over with the purple later on. Now I better say hello to everybody in chat, and I've probably lost half of you now, so I'll say hello first who I can see. That's Gareth, my dad. Scorpion's in the house, Tal's in the house, BullGM's in the house, Michelle is in the house, Dawn in the house. Hello Dawn and Crypt Monkey Studios. Casper Kenobi's in the house. Hello Casper Kenobi. Anybody else? And that's about all I can see so far. Thank you all for popping on. Okay, let's get some focus on this bad boy. It's a good size miniature. Let me get you a little size comparison. This is my Executioner from Wizkids Games. So there you go. There you go. Boom, 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 boom. Absolutely awesome stuff. Right then, let me see if I can get some focus, and then we can start painting. See how I can grip this today. This will be fine like so. And that's about right. That looks like it's in focus to me. Okay, get some tissue out. And we're going to start on the wings and all the red areas for this miniature. Now, I've got to try and keep this in frame. It's a big miniature, so you'll have to bear with me. And what we're doing is going straight over all the red areas, and we're going over where the purple goes as well, because, like I say, it's a lighter colour. And what we're going to do is I'm pushing that red on, and I'm going to add some white, and we're going to start going towards the end of the wings and blending the white in with the red. As we go down the wings towards the tips. And this will just make a nice little effect for the wings, just to show a little bit of deep red going into a lighter red at the end of the tips. We'll do the same on the other side. And quite difficult, it's a big brush. Let's get the paint in there. I'm not worried about making a mess because I am going over that red with the purple later on. Again, adding some white now, just to make it a little bit brighter towards the ends. A bit more red at the top. Straight back into that white. A bit more red. I want it to be looking the same as the other wing, so we need to get the correct colours so it looks the same. There we are. Let's get some more deeper red going over the claw there. And just actually do the same on this side. And again back into the white. And we'll push this towards the end of the wings. More white. Bit more white there. Okay. Let's move this back a little bit. Just there we are. Just take a little bit more of that moisture off. There we go. Perfect. You just want them to look the same on each side, so you've got a nice colour variation. So we've got the dark red going into a nice lighter pink, and once we add the purple arms, as I call it, the little fingers, it'll all blend in beautifully. Okay, let's move on to the back. I need to get some more red on my palette. So it just gets loads of red on there, tons and tons of red. Some more white. And once again, we're starting off with the deep red to begin with. I don't know if I can get my tissue in there so you can actually see what I'm doing. It's a big mini, so I apologise if you can't actually see me what I'm mixing on my tissue there. I'll try to put it down a little bit more. So I'm starting off with the deep red, and we're only doing the wings. So we're going pushing the paint into the sides there. And once again, we're adding a little bit of white to that mix. And pulling the red away. Add a little bit more white. A little bit more white. And we just take that to the edge of the wings. There we go. And we do the same on the other side, so we're going back into that red again. Let's get the red on there. A little bit stronger with the red. Like I said, I'm just using the same brush for everything. All I'm doing is adding white to the red to give it that nice effect going to the ends of the wings. This would work really well on the Maldraka dragon for those huge wings from that miniature. A little bit more white. And we just again add in the white into the palette there, and we're just blending that in, just slowly bringing out the colour, and again a little bit more white for the tips of the wings. We're not going fully white, but we're just making it lighter and lighter, going away from the body of the dragon. There we are. So we've got some lovely little wet blending going on those wings, and that didn't take long at all to get some nice little effect going on the wings. Okay, so I'll give my brush a wash, and we need to move to a smaller brush now. What are you painting, Dawn? Something tasty? Something nice? Okay, so I'm just moving down to a smaller brush now, so we can get the red on the spines. And like I say, I'm not worried about making a mess. Water Genie, awesome stuff. So I'm not worried about making a mess with the paint on this miniature, because we shall be going over everything with the purple in a minute. And because the purple is a darker colour, it will cover all the red areas with any mistakes or any parts that have gone over the miniature. And of course this is a speed paint, so now as you can see, I'm just going down the spine, and we'll do it in sections because otherwise the paint might dry, and we want to keep that paint wet while we're doing this. And again, I'm doing the same as on the wings. Towards the ends of the wings, I am going to start adding, just take the paint off, I'm going to start adding some white to the tips, so we'll just go along the edges of the tips there, a little bit more white, and we'll just go along the spine, and that'll just blend in nicely with the red. Just like so. And okay, we carry on with our red now, so I'm going to go to the other side and start it again. Take the paint off your brush if it's overloaded, and add some of that nice deep red, and we shall go back down the spine on the other side. Once again, we go back into the white, and we just mix that in on the palette a little bit, and we're going to just go to the tips of this spine here and add that white, so it kind of blends in and gives a nice light effect towards the ends. And it makes it so much easier if you do all this while the paint is wet. It does take a bit of practice. You're not going to get it correct first time. I have been painting quite a few years, so it does take a bit of practice to get into the swing of it all. But once you've mastered a little bit of wet blending and techniques of wet blending, you won't want to go back to any other type of painting, because it really works well. It's my preferred method of painting large miniatures, because you can actually get the miniature done very, very fast and to a nice tabletop quality. So I'm just doing all the awkward little bits now. The tail kind of spirals in here. You've got to have octopus hands sometimes when you are painting miniatures. So we're just using the brush there to get that paint on. And we just work our way around. The tricky part will be adding the purple afterwards here, but I'm sure we'll be okay. Okay, I'm going to just start here. Working my way around the tail. Hello, Hamish. Now this dragon, of course, I would be a liar if I said I played Magic the Gathering, and I apologise to anybody out there who are huge Magic the Gathering fans. But I would be using this for my Dungeon Saga, Pathfinder, or my Dungeons and Dragons games. It's definitely a very, very nice miniature. But I cannot tell you the lore on this miniature through Magic the Gathering, and I do apologise for my lack of knowledge. If I would probably play Magic the Gathering. I think they've got Magic the Gathering on Steam, where you can get the card game on a Steam game. That's probably the way I'd play it. But I know it's a huge, huge thing. Like I say, so I do apologise if my lack of knowledge on Magic the Gathering is terrible. But painting the miniatures is an absolute joy, so I am not complaining at all. This is a beautiful miniature. Let me move back a little bit so you can see how it's getting on. I mean, it's already starting to look fab just with the wings and everything else. So we've just got that tail to do there. So we'll just go back to that red. Take off the paint. I've overloaded my brush. And we'll just add that paint to the bottom there. And then we can start on the purples and the other colours. Okay, and again I'll be doing the same. I'll just add the white to the ends of the tips of all these type of, just here, just a little, just blend that in towards the ends. A bit more white. There we are, that's lovely. There we go. Now let me just check the box for something. Yes. I was just checking the colour on the box. The whole head is purple. I wasn't sure if these little like hairs, little tentacles on the back of the head were red. They're actually purple as well. Good, so far that's all the red parts practically done. Now there is a little bit of red in the middle, so we shall actually do that as well. Now what I'm going to do with the red in the middle is a little bit orange, so we're going to use some Fireball orange and mix it in with our red just to make it lighter. Hello Chanur 67. Okay, let's go and do the center. Now again, I'm going back onto my tissue and I'm just mixing that orange in with the red. I'm just going to take it to the center of the miniature, and this will be for the chest, and it only goes so far up, so just take that down. Absolutely beautiful color. I'll just move that there, just go into where the purple will hit. And we'll just move that across. A little bit more. Perfect. And we're just going to go in between the legs, but we're not going to go too far down the tail. I'm going to leave that, and we're going to just paint that in purple. So that's our chest. That's simple enough. We can highlight that and use an ink wash to darken that chest off later. Now all we need to do is add all the purple to the rest of the miniature, because all the rest is completely purple, and then the claws are black. Hello, Nath. All the goblins in the house tonight. And remember, it is July. It is July, so it's posting month for all my goblins. You'll all be having your parcels posted, all the goodness. Now, for the bottom colour, we're using Twilight Purple. So this is going to be our main colour for all the purple areas. Need to give this another shake. Now, if you haven't got a paint mixer, my paint mixer's out of action because I forgot to plug it in. When you mix your colours, doesn't matter what company, always turn your paints upside down whenever you shake them. So so that lets all the pigments go down. And the reason we do this is because your paints have been sitting like this, probably for weeks, months, or years if you're called Tau. But when you shake them, turn them upside down. That will get all those pigments from the bottom into the whole part of the bottle. So you just give it a good old shake, and that will really, really get the pigments flowing. You heard it then. So you are listening then, Tom? Thought you'd fallen asleep there. Bless him. Okay, let's make a move. Okay, what brush shall we go for this time? Right then, I'm going to just use, what's this one? I'm going to use a Regiment brush by Army Painter for this next part. Again, it's a very simple process. We're just going to be adding the purple. The main thing you need to do for these type of things is get these wings done first, so you got those nice little different variations in colour. Okay, so what we're going to do is get all the head painted. We're going to get all the white areas now that's left painted in purple. And then we'll let it dry, and while it's drying, I'll show you some other items. Quite hard to hold this miniature. There we go. I'll go just there. Okay, let's just get the paint on. Boom, boom, boom. Lots of little bits to get your paintbrush around here with all the little snaky hairs. So you have to be quite careful here. It's very simple to miss little bits, especially when the paint is wet, because while the paint is wet it has a reflection, and when paint has reflection, you'll the white won't show, and you often quite miss pieces of the miniature that you've painted, so you have to go over at a later date. I mean, every show that I've painted a miniature on, once the paint is dried, I always find I've missed a tiny little area which I have to redo. So it's quite normal, and there's nothing wrong in missing a part as long as you see it afterwards, and then you can just touch up the mini where you've missed a little bit of paint. And like I said, because we're using a darker colour now for the purple, we can paint over the whole miniature where the red is, and it won't show through. It should be just fine. Like I say, the hardest part is going through all these little tentacles on the back of his head, as I call it. As soon as that's done, we can start speeding up again. I'd like to get this miniature finished in an hour. Remember, if any of you have changed your posting address, make sure you get in touch with Scorplo or myself, so we can send the parcels to the correct place. Because I know a lot of you move houses or have moved houses. Most of you have given me change of address, which is fantastic. But if you haven't, just please make sure that you do before we post the parcels. And talking of parcels, if you want to type in "give me a free mini," we shall add that miniature to your parcel. This is all for people on a painted tier on my Patreon. Now, also remember, this will be the last giveaway of this posting. I'll still be doing a giveaway on every single show, but the next person who wins on the next show, it will be posted in the box on our next posting. Okay, I hope you all understood that. Good. Black ink wash is a very good ink wash. If you are going to do purple, that works very well for getting the details in purple. You can also get a purple ink wash as well, but black is also a very, very good ink wash for using over any purple colours. Okay, going on now. Gotta be careful I don't grab any areas that are still wet, so I'm just trying my best to be careful here. There we are. Let's go down the arms. We'll be using a lighter pink to give a slight highlight to all the pink. We're using a slight purple to give a slight highlight to the purple. Oh my goodness, what am I talking about? I'm being very quiet tonight, aren't I? I'm in concentration mode. I do apologise for my lack of speaking. Surprising how much purple there is to paint on this miniature. It's nearly finished the main body. We've got to go down the tail and back of the legs. Now the claws as well on this miniature, they're being painted in dragon black. Be careful not to go onto the clear plastic. So we just work our way around the clear plastic. Good, it's coming on nice. Just got to do a bit more on the tail. And then we've got the wings to do the purple. Hello, Moose's Touch. Okay. Nearly there. It doesn't matter if I go onto the base of my purple because the base will be painted in a darker colour. Thank you for the cheer. Okay, so we've just got the fingers really to paint on the bottom of this tail, which is quite awkward because it's right inside here and it's at the bottom. So let's see if I can just get my paintbrush in there. That's fine. There we go, just let it meet up. Like I say, sometimes you've got to paint these miniatures and you've got to have little octopus arms and you've got to have the Bionic Man eyesight to actually see where you're going with the paint. Sometimes I've actually snapped I've snapped paintbrushes in half. When I was painting the houses last year, tabletop world houses, I couldn't get inside the houses to paint them properly, so I ended up snapping all my paintbrushes in half so I could actually get into the buildings to paint the fine details in the building, because I just could not for the life of me get a paintbrush in there to get those parts done, and that was really annoying. But sometimes you have to make these sacrifices and snap your paintbrushes in half just so you can paint the fireplace in the house. There we go. Okay, so how are we doing so far? That's good. So now we have to try and paint these little fingers going up, and they are in purple as well. So again, this time I'm going to change my brush. We're going to go to a smaller brush because it's more of a fine detail. The dog's sulking again, is she? Okay, right then. So let's go for this brush here. Go for number 1 brush, and again we're going back into that purple. Better take a bit more purple out. And what we're doing is we're going along the fingers. We've already done the highlighting on the wings, so now all we've got to do is just have a steady hand, and we're following the fingers down, and we're painting over the wings there. Go up the fingers. There we are. Okay, now that's better. So we're just doing the fingers in purple, and like I say, because I've already done the highlighting on the wings, I can just paint over these fingers with the purple, and it won't be an issue. Because all the hard work has been done beforehand, because we added that lighter highlight at the beginning on those wings. As you can see, it's working out quite nicely. You've still got all that lovely wing effect, and we've got the purple added that we want. So we just got to go over here, over here. The claws will be painted in black, of course. I've got to be careful now because some of the miniature is wet, and I don't want to touch the purple and then go over and stick my fingers everywhere else. And again, on the back of the wing, again, we just follow it down. We just follow the little fingers around the wings, and we just meet up with the other fingers. Okay, almost there for the one wing. Like I say, I told you it's a very simple and easy paint, this one. It won't take you long to get this one finished. And it will look awesome on your tabletop, whether it's Magic the Gathering or Pathfinder or Dungeons and Dragons, or it could be Dungeon Saga if you're Nath. Cool. So that's that bit done. Now we've got to do the other wing. There we are. So we got the purple on that side done. Just got this side to do. We let this dry. We got some highlights, do the eyes, ink wash on the chest, paint the black claws, and this miniature is ready to go. It's absolutely simple, apart from the base, of course. I've got to still paint the base. Long stripy scarf. Yes, it's a Wizkids mini. This is from their Magic the Gathering line of miniatures. I think it should be released now. It's a brand new release, so it might not actually be in the systems just yet. But it's a definitely a beautiful miniature to be in your games. Now I'm painting it to the same colour scheme as on the box, mainly because that's probably the colour scheme that this dragon is used in Magic the Gathering, so I want to try and keep it as close as possible to the game, and this is why I'm doing it in this purple and red, and to be honest it looks really nice. So just following the lines. This is probably the hardest part of the whole mini, is just making sure you try and get as neat a line as possible, using the purple going down the fingers of the wings, because it can make an awful mess on a light colour. So this is where you really got to try your best to just follow the line of the wing like I'm doing. I'm just following the finger down. I'm doing the one top side of the finger first, and then I'm just following down the bottom side of the finger on the other side, just exactly where the finger goes on the wing, and that's it. And the same on the front. I've got to be careful again because things are still wet. And again, we'll just paint this here. Start with the top finger. Okay, we'll go here. I'll go down and across. Now I see I've missed a little bit of red on the bottom of the wing under the arm there, so that's not a problem. I can quickly add some red to that, it's not an issue. But as always, you will miss parts, especially when you're painting like I am. So we're just going up that again, boom, 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 and then we go down the other side, just following the line. Be careful again because everything gets wet. I think this is dry now. There we are. And we can just use our hands. I'm using two hands here to support my brush. Makes it a lot easier if you can get support. And again, we can just go down here. And directly onto the claw. And because we are painting the claws black, it doesn't matter if we make a mess. Got two more fingers to do. Like I say, this is the bit where the concentration takes over, and you try to get the best line you possibly can, because this will make or break the miniature, because people will see the wings and the head, and that'll be the first thing they see if there's any faults in the miniature. So what we try to do is get those parts done the best we possibly can. There we are. So far, so good. We have the lovely wings. We have all the purple in the parts. I will have to touch up a few areas, but as you can see, it's looking fab so far. Now we're going to add the black for the claws. And we can add any purple that we've missed if that's the case. Just have a little drink of this. It's absolutely roasting today. Okay, let's make a start again. We've got some dragon black, and we're going to just paint in the claws. And once those claws are painted in, we'll move on. Again, I'm just going to use a large #1 brush. And all the claws are black on this miniature, so very simple. Just go over all the claws. I apologise if my dog is barking and making noises, and the cat. The cat's meowing as well. Talking to cats, this is how much the cat loves me. Look at, see my arm? See my arm? See my arm? That is feed me. That is feed me claws. Okay, this is coming along fab. I haven't looked at my watch yet, so I don't know what time it is. I don't know how we're doing for time. I'll have a look in a minute after I've painted these claws. I hope this show hasn't been too boring for you, watching me paint this little dragon. I sometimes do get carried away with my painting, and I need to talk more, and I apologise for that. But hopefully you can all talk in chat. If I can give it some inspiration to any of you, that's all that matters about this show. If I can just make one of you pick up a paintbrush, or just enjoy what you're seeing, then I know everything is worth what I'm doing. Once I do the YouTube video, of course I will post a 360 of the completely finished miniature. Of course it's a painting stream. Of course it's a painting stream. But I get bored that bored. I keep thinking that, you know, I might be boring everybody, and I'm scared that, you know, it's just it's just me being a wally, I suppose. That's just paranoia, I suppose. There we are. I've missed a bit of purple there, so we can go back over that purple. And also inside the mouth is black as well. So what we're going to do is we'll go right into the back of the mouth. Let's paint all the black areas, and we can paint those teeth white once it's dry. I'll just add a bit of black in there. Oh, there we are. If you make a mistake like I just did there, and a little bit of black goes onto your miniature, if you're quick, you can just quickly wipe it off with your thumb really fast, like I've just done there, and it's gone. So there is quick methods of quick fixes. Okay. Now we're just going to let that dry a little bit. And then what we'll do is we'll add some washes to that miniature, because we've only got 8 minutes left. That's a fast hour for me. What are the packing into the boxes? Oh, you're talking. Sorry, you're talking about something else. Sorry, I was like, what? Oh, by the way, I have got some miniatures on sale on my Ko-fi shop. So this is the Eye of the Beholder, Wizkids Eye of the Beholder, and this is for sale on my Ko-fi shop at the minute. So if you want to pop over to my Ko-fi shop, if you're after an Eye of the Beholder, the other one has already sold, and most of the other miniatures I've put up there have already sold. But this one is still for sale if anyone is interested in a Eye of the Beholder, and it comes with a little custom base with some skulls I added as well. Okay, let's just add some ink wash to this miniature, and then we'll have to call it a night. I didn't realise the hour went so quickly. What do you think of this so far, everybody? Are you happy of how it's turning out so far with the wings? Good, thank you, Tal. Yes, it's once all the ink washes are added to the purple, we can really start highlighting the rest of the miniature. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to add black all over the purple. Then I'm going to be dry brushing I'll be using the Witchcraft purple just to give it some lighter effects. But that's the only thing that needs doing with this miniature, apart from painting the base. We'll be adding a light brown ink wash to the front there. I'll show you that before we say goodnight, because it gives a lovely effect. And I'm using soft tone ink wash by Army Painter. Thanks, Dad. Okay, so what we'll just quickly do, I'm not going to add anything more to those wings. Those wings are going to stay as they are, but the purple definitely will be highlighting the purple. But for instance, now we're just going to add that ink wash to the belly of the beast, and because the light ink wash is fantastic for orange, it will go into all the recesses, and it will just really give a lovely shadow and bring out all the details. Like so. As you can see, it's already going in there. And because it's a light ink wash, it's not overshadows. You're still keeping a nice bright colour to the chest. If you used a dark brown ink wash, it'd be much too dirty for this dragon. Let me just quickly show you the black ink wash, how it looks with this purple as well. Now, black ink wash, I'm just going to use our nano oil for this miniature. And again, even with the nanoils, I keep on telling people, just because it sounds like it's wet inside and runny and splashing about, that doesn't mean it's mixed thoroughly. So what you need to do, again, turn it upside down and give it a good shake, because even when it's this thin, it still needs shaking. A lot of people don't shake their ink washes. So yeah. Oh, what we'll do, we just add a little bit of the black around the head there. And just add that. That'll go to the eyes, and it'll just start to bring out. I mean, I've missed a little bit of the purple there, but it's just going over the whole of the purple. And I could probably show you better on the arm here. There we go. So look, if I go down here, it'll go into the arm. Lovely. Take a bit off, a bit too much. There we are. Just to give you an example of how that black ink wash will bring out all the different details. As you see, it's gone into every single nook and cranny on the arm there, and that'll be over the whole of the purple. So there we are. That was a very fast show for me. I hope you all enjoyed it. I will be back painting on Monday, and Monday we'll be back doing some Reaper miniatures, or if I have any other miniatures that seem very, very exciting, I shall bring them and paint them. I do want to do some more shows doing custom bases. I want to do some shows doing more custom builds and terrain builds. I think you all would love to see that. So if you do want to see different variations in what I'm doing, if you want to see, you know, clay builds, custom builds, I'm very, very happy. Just let me know in Discord or on Twitter what you'd like to see, and I'll be very, very happy to join in and show you what I can do. So loads and loads of love to every single... Yeah, I thought Casper can be terrain. I love to every single one of you. I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you all so much for popping in and seeing me. It's always a pleasure. I shall talk to you soon. So good night, everybody.